Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today we are doing a Tiki Mugs episode. And I've done a lot of episodes about a lot of different Tiki mugs, but I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever done an episode on a Tiki mug quite like this. And we're going to get into it first, but introduce yourself to the camera.
My name's Rich Bryan. We're out of Philomath, Oregon, which is just outside of Corvallis, home of Oregon State. Go Beavs! And my wife Lily and I, we've got our home adventure bar right there on the Marys River.
Yeah.
And
right now we are actually at the Endless Summer event my friend Grant puts on every year. And last night, you guys did a little presentation here. You can see there's a skeleton behind this. There's some cannons, and you did like this pirate, like it was almost like a musical,
yeah,
in a way.
Pirate battle.
A pirate battle. The skeletons talking, cannons are going off, and that is all in the world of animatronics, right?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about you guys, though, is that's kind of your bag.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into that?
So it's interesting. It's there's a lot of crossover from Tiki and Halloween.
Yeah.
And like when we were at Tiki Con, in fact, how we first learned about Tiki Con in Portland,
Yeah.
Is through our friends at the Halloween conventions.
Yeah.
And so I used to do a elaborate yard display at my home in Corvallis.
Yeah.
With my old life. And
With your old life.
With my old life, well,
No, you're not your old wife.
No, my old, the old wife too, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but
or do you mean like old and like, well, the old wife?
Yeah,
or...
No. My wife Lily and I, we've been together almost 8 years now, and but I used to do a really over the top, elaborate Halloween display to the point that. My last year I did it, I had 1,500 people that night, which is a lot for a town of that size, and. I ended up on the front page of the Wall Street Journal.
The Wall
Street Journal, and actually the front page, I've got it framed, and the guy actually flew up from San Francisco, and he was using a steno pad and doing the interview in shorthand, like old school reporter.
Yeah.
And came and was doing a thing about Halloween displays, kind of like Christmas.
Well, what was involved with this Halloween display then?
So on that, at one point in time, back 10, 15 years ago, I had 10 grand in the Halloween display of, so it was lights, lasers, animatronics, laptops. I had to rewire the house to run everything. So basically, what in the system I'm using and the hardware, you like Great Christmas Light Fight, you see the people that have these insane Christmas light displays?
Yeah.
Same thing, except we did Halloween.
Okay.
So same hardware, same software that everybody uses for Christmas. Except
is it all come as like one package kind of thing?
You can buy it like that, so you can buy the controllers and the software. There's a couple of different manufacturers out there.
Yeah.
You have like VSA. You actually have X-Lights, which is a freeware software. You have Lightorama, which is I like to use kind of the Apple system, and so software, hardware, and from that point on, it's just how you want to use it.
Yeah.
And so instead of making a dancing Santa, I made an animatronic skeleton.
Yeah.
And
I think that's cooler.
Yeah, and so do I.
I think it's a lot cooler.
And so that's kind of how I got into it, and then my wife and I actually met at a Halloween convention.
Really?
And, yeah. So I've actually got a liberal arts degree, and my specialty is dealing with high-end property theft and arson, and then litigated files is what I deal with during the day. And then, I've got a sideline thing that if you get a DUI in Linn County, Oregon, you get to see my smiling face.
Oh, great.
So I deal with that. So this is completely opposite from my day job.
So is that like an ad on like the billboard, like you don't want to see me?
Yeah, you really don't want to go to see my program. You messed up if you have to see me on that one, right? Then my wife, she's actually the engineer in the family. She's actually a mechanical engineer.
Oh, really?
And she
literally?
Yeah, like
okay.
She's a mechanic. Yeah, she's got the engineering degree. I got a liberal arts degree from OSU.
Yeah. So it reminds me of that song from You Got the Brains, I Got the Brawn. Yeah. Let's make lots of animatronics. Are you kind of like the Stan Lee to like the Steve Ditko or whatever? Yeah. Like, hey, I want to do this idea. What do you think? And she's like, well, this is how we can This is how we can pull it off.
Or more along the lines of like, yeah, that's dumb. Go or dial it back a notch, or and she pulls no punches. She's like, that looks like crap. You shouldn't do it that way. Okay, fine. And unfortunately, sometimes I'll be a little resistant. Like, I'll argue a little bit, and she's like, fine, do it yourself. And then I'll come around 5 minutes later. Okay, fine, you're right. Yeah.
Today, this is actually a tiki event, but your display was definitely more pirate.
100%.
And then you're talking about like the Halloween, Halloween or Christmas. How is this all related? Like, how do you think it all works? Because it all kind of does work together.
It does. I think honestly, for this part right here, I gotta say the big linchpin, and personally, I think really, and it's controversial, but really to me, when I think tiki, I think it's all Southern California tiki, and honestly, I think the nexus and the inspiration all has to be credited to Disney.
To Disney, all right.
Okay. So like our bar is not a, quote, tiki bar. It's an adventure bar. But our house is on a river.
Yeah.
The river looks exactly like the river in Anaheim in the Jungle Cruise. Yeah. And so it has to have floating hippos in it, and I have to make it a jungle bar.
So,
I have to make the hippos float in the river.
Well, I would say, I think it's really honestly safe to say that, like, anyone who's in California, Disneyland is probably a big part of their DNA, whether they like it or not.
Exactly.
And there's obviously a lot of crossover there, and just like kind of like you said, I mean, you talk about Disneyland, and there's obviously different lands in Disneyland, Adventureland, was it the World of Tomorrow, whatever, and there's all these different, essentially, these like completely different environments. And how, I mean, I'm thinking like everyone's gonna like a little bit of each.
Right.
You're a kid, you're a young kid. You're gonna love like the Jungle Cruise, and you're also gonna love like the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're also gonna love the Enchanted Tiki Room. I mean, you're just gonna love it all.
Well, that was the thing. Is like on my yard show, it was 12 and a half minutes long. It was Enchanted Tiki Room with the animatronic birds.
Yeah.
And we rolled into Pirates of the Caribbean, which is basically what you saw last night.
Yeah.
And then I did Dr. Facilier's, I had an animatronic doing his, song from that movie, and then ended up with Haunted Mansion. So it was like a 12 and a half long minute Disney tribute in that yard.
Yeah.
But really, when you think about it, to me, honestly, the real essence of Tiki is escapism.
Yeah.
And I should go...
That's my favorite part of Tiki.
Is when I go to an environment or a bar or somebody's home or whatever, and they've gone to that point of it's decorated to the nines and the creativity of everybody's doing it different. I walk in and I don't feel like I'm in the rat race of work. I don't feel like I'm, everything else can just kind of escape.
Yep.
I can just kind of let loose a little bit, and did I just spend $10,000 on a Hawaii vacation? No, but for the next half hour, maybe I can get 85% there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, my favorite part of Tiki is the environment. Is like when you go into like whether it's someone's home tiki bar or a tiki bar, and you just get this overwhelming feeling of like, oh wow, and it's another feeling of just like I don't want to leave here.
Yeah, and that's
I want to just stay here.
And that's the thing.
I want to stay in this world.
Yeah, and so I've always liked a little bit of whimsy, the tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing in Disney, for example, is like the Mark Davis. When he was adding the humor to everything, and to me, so everything has to have a bit of tongue in cheek and humor to it. And
God, yeah.
And it just makes it fun. And the Tiki people in particular are just they're giving folks, they're fun folks, and they're appreciative of everything. And for the most part, it's just we're all here to have a good time. I mean, come on, I'm 50 years old wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
I just turned
drinking
50.
rum dents,
I just turned 54 today, and I'm wearing a pseudo tiki shirt that has flowers and skulls. But
I'm a full-grown man, and we built stuff like this.
And last night you were a pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
With your shirt off and a bandana on the head, and with a gun.
Yeah.
No exaggeration with any of that at all. Obviously, we're all a little bit older, but we all still like to party, and what's synonymous with Tiki are the Tiki mugs.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, they're fragile.
Yes.
They can break very, very easily.
Yeah.
And if you're having people drinking, it gets a little hairy, And it's not really fun to drink out of like like a plastic silo cup. But you came up with a new solution. And I don't think I've ever seen this before. So what we have in front of us are tiki mugs that you made, but they're not made out of clay, they're made out of silicone.
Correct. So this is actually, we sculpted the design. So I actually took clay, sculpted, made the design. This particular one that we did, this is our first prototype. The inspiration for this, guys, we were diving, and so I was like, I had the octopus and the wolf eels and everything in my head that day. And but we, at these tiki events and the conventions and whatnot, everybody, like you said, is drinking the solo cup, or if you're really fancy, you have the solo cup with the tiki on it.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to have their nice hand carved, or they get like the plastic one that you get from Dollar Tree or something.
Yeah, those are lame.
But the problem is, you can't take your beautiful tiki mug that you just spent $200 on and drink it, because what happens if you drop it? Oops, right?
Yeah, for a split second there. Like seriously, just like a gut reaction for like a split second. I'm like, oh no, you just dropped it. Yeah. But here's, so, I mean, obviously, like.
So these, actually, so we sculpted them, hand sculpted them.
They move.
Yeah.
Now be careful, this one has coffee in it.
Yeah, this one I'm drinking coffee.
So be careful when you don't do this with that one.
So it's a food grade silicone.
And the bottom of it's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, it is. So
it's pretty thick.
Yeah. So it's absolutely uncrushable, unbreakable. At Tiki Caliente, we were joking around. I poured these up right. In fact, the last mug, I had cast it the night before, and I pulled it out of the mold 5 minutes before we're leaving for the airport.
Wow.
And just because to play with that week.
Yeah.
And we were actually tossing these around like a football in the pool for a little while.
Yeah.
And they fly pretty good.
And you were saying too that it actually keeps the temperature of the drink pretty solid.
It does, because it's silicone, so it's actually so it's heat rated to like 400 or 500 degrees. Yeah. It's dishwasher safe.
I love that you can like funnel it.
Yeah, you can, and it keeps.
You know what this would be great for? Bubble tea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because then you can just have those bubbles on it.
Yeah, so dishwasher safe. Like I said, we used the food grade silicone, and then of course the silicone is clear.
Yeah.
So our trade secret is how I colored this. You can make silicone tints, but none of them are food grade.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's the thing.
And so we actually were able to find a food product, and food grade product, that we were able to tint the silicone with that didn't distort the silicone, and. So then we were able to come up with a whole rainbow of colors. And then,
let me see this.
And then that one was my first one where I tried to make a dual color. And I poured the, and then how you make this is, unlike ceramic, is you have to make the inner mold.
Yeah.
Sculpt the clay around it, then you have to make an outer mold of the fiberglass. It's the same way as I'd make a monster mask. Like if you've ever seen Face Off, that show back in the day, and they're making the inner outer mold. Same process. So. And there's about $20 worth of silicone in this mug.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, are you going to make these in production? Like, is that the plan to make them and sell them?
We're going to try and make and sell them. We're going to try and make up a few for, I think, Beachcomber here in September.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, this is our very first one.
Okay.
Our prototype. I'm going to try and make, I've got another design, maybe make one that's a little smaller.
Yeah, I think a little smaller might be cooler.
Yeah, because I think this one holds
these are pretty girthy.
Yeah, this one holds like 24, 25 ounces.
Yeah, they're definitely going
to... it'll knock you on your can.
I've only had one drink.
I
think it's a really cool idea.
And
I've never, ever seen it before.
Yeah, and like I said, it was just one of those things that, I'd wanted to make a mug, but everybody makes ceramic. And I'm like, there's so many ceramic artists out there that I, really, appreciate their art form.
Of course.
And frankly, to be honest with you, it's a little bit oversaturated of a market.
Oh, there's a lot of mugs now.
There's mugs every day, and it's like, but this is just something different.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I have my fair share of tiki mugs. I don't drink out of them.
No.
I wouldn't even think about it, because my fear is like of potentially breaking them. These are just like, use them. That's what they're made for. Mm-hmm. So if anyone wants to buy one of these, where can they go to get one?
So,
or how can they get one from you? Or how can they,
So Beachcomber will have it there.
Yeah.
Our website is in its very infancy.
Yeah.
So it's Tiki. We've got the mugs, and then our big product that we made is the fully animatronic shrunken head.
And that's going to be a whole other thing.
That'll be a whole nother thing.
So I'll come back. You got to come back on the show when we start talking about heads.
Yeah, and but that one will be basically whatever you want the thing to say. Record into it, and it parrots it back.
What I'll do is I'll start using that to make my videos. It'll be just this head like, "Hi, my name is Ray," or something.
Yeah.
Want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canepa did the design, and they're screen printed in America.